The office holiday party is here, and you, an introverted Gen Z remote worker who lives in Teams and gamed your video background for 8 months, now have to put on real pants and walk into a rented event space half a block from the office, drink something with cinnamon and Prosecco, and deal with Steve who has mistletoe duct taped to his forehead. This is your office holiday party, the annual Christmas bash, your corporate seasonal event. And we're going to hold your hand the whole time. First off, let's get this out of the way. Yes, you have to go to your office holiday party. Seriously, you can't wimp out or call off sick. Even if attendance isn't mandatory, you have to go for the stupidest reason. Your senior partner planned it, and she's anxious about pulling it off. She's invested in the one true metric of success, which just so happens to be attendance. When you show up and put yourself out there, you're making her look good, which of course is not your job, and I'm not suggesting you can leverage that in any way. This isn't Suits, Marcia. I'm saying that if your boss is proud of her office holiday party, that's good for everybody. Also, you have to go because people need to know you're real. I know that sounds weird. Of course you're real. AI isn't that good. Yet. What I mean is that a lot of these people know you as a tiny face in a tiny box on the bottom left of their tiny screen. In a lot of ways, you aren't real to them, just as they aren't entirely real to you. Showing up in real life lets people shake your hand and slap you on the back. Virtual camaraderie is fine, but building true rapport requires a little skin on skin, which you can only do if you're in the room. On that note, let's talk about how to walk into your office holiday party. This is maybe the most worrisome fear of mingling. Worse than small talk, worse than forgetting someone's name. For you, the walking inner entering the room is a huge deal. The mind recognizes how big a deal this is, so it tries its best to support the idea by making you think, worry, agonize, that it's a big deal for everyone else in the room too. You've probably entertained 1 or 2 recurring nightmare fantasies where you watch a mental movie of yourself Frank Sinatraing into a crowded office party. The record scratches, the conversation stops, and all eyes turn to judge you and the scarf you overthought. Paralysis. Full shutdown. You are the deer. They are the headlights. In that moment, in the spotlight, what do you even do? To start off, try relaxing. Nobody, and I mean nobody, even knows you're there. Every single individual in attendance is locked into whatever forced conversation they've just managed to wedge "can we circle back" into. However, walking into a room is still a thing. For you, you have to actually do it. You have to pull that big door open, you have to figure out where to put your coat, and you have to locate the bar. These are office Christmas party imperatives, but preceding them is the simplest of actions. Just walk in. That's right. There's no ritual here, no tip, no hack. Just walk in. Walk into the room for a reasonable distance, then stop and take stock. Surveil, recon. Quickly map the following landmarks. Where are people putting coats and bags? Where is your boss? Where is the one person you know you can start an easy conversation with? Where is the bar? Figured all these things out? Great. Now let's get to it. Get rid of your coat. Shake your boss's hand and tell her the party's a raging success. Smack Jean on the back and say something like, "Working hard or hardly working?" Or whatever insipid phrase works for you. Say, "Well, what are you drinking, you old scoundrel?" Then go to the bar and top him up. Get yourself whatever poison you prefer, even if that poison is perfectly healthy and made mostly from carrot juice and contains not one smidgen of booze. Drop into the conversation and relax. As for next steps, there are no next steps. It's a party, and strategy is not a requisite. Relax, make bad jokes, and enjoy yourself. Want a pro tip? Here you go. Adopt absolute old-school swagger. Walk in, sweep off your coat, and say to no one in particular, "Is this a work party, or did somebody die?" Moving on, let's talk about how you approach a small group of coworkers and not explode. Let's say Jean isn't there and you walk into a party where you don't know anyone in real life. Everyone there is distributed evenly around the room in little conversation knots. How, in the name of Dale Carnegie, do you wedge yourself into one of those conversations? There is an established science for approaching a group. But let me reassure you, people in that group are fine with you adding yourself. This is an office holiday party. Nobody owns the space. If you want, just step right into the gap between Gary from accounting and Rhonda from ops. However, there is some etiquette involved. Start off by reading the nonverbal clues. If they are in a tightly sealed circle, all hunched over and whispering, pick another group. They've circled the wagons and you're not getting in. If they are in a loose clench, not talking, and everybody's looking in different directions like some bad band photo, they're not really a group. Step up. You can start by saying, "Excuse me," very quietly, or something like, "I'm just going to slip in here." Or, "Is this spot taken, Wayne? Is it?" Then don't say anything. You don't know where the conversation is. Is someone talking? Did someone just say something important? Did Rhonda risk telling a really stupid joke and no one's laughing? No matter what the conversation is, when you walk up, you're not part of it. Be cool and take the measure of the group. Wait until you know for sure what they're talking about before you chime in. Here's another pro tip, and this one's from the boomers. Sometimes a loosely defined group standing in awkward silence needs a catalyst. Be that seed crystal, Barb. Get in there and launch into your pet theory about why Emily in Paris is the best comedy on television. That group will come together around you because you broke the bubble of awkwardness. You're the frickin' hero here, Barb. Revel in your time. Hey, remember that bar we scouted out earlier? What should we do with that thing? Well, it's an office party. We all know this is a time outside of time, a place outside of space. What happens at the office holiday party stays in Vegas, except no, it doesn't. Do you know why you know about Stan from Real Estate tearing off his shirt and yelling, "I'm the captain now"? At last year's party? Because he did, and everyone still talks about it. There are pictures. Also, Stan's just not used to drinking and overdid it, which could happen to anyone. It's a damn shame there are pictures, but who are we to judge? Your office culture dictates the better wisdom here. Maybe your firm is a 3-martini lunch firm. Maybe your firm is dedicated to sobriety. The prudent path is one of moderation. Yes, it's a holiday bash, and the boss put together a banger of a free bar, but proceed with caution. Despite HR's event management encouragement to relax and enjoy yourself at the holiday party, you are still at work. Drink or don't drink. What matters is that you don't end up replacing Stan as the story of the year. How about another boomer pro trick? Order a Coke with a lime, or Diet Pepsi if you must. It looks like a Cuba Libre, so your boss sees you having a drink. Yes, it matters to her. But you're not. Not into the boomer thing? Then here's a Gen Z tip. Stop worrying about it. You don't have to drink to have a good time. You don't have to booze signal to avoid judgment. You do you. Last, let's talk about the greatest weapon you can have at your disposal. Use the buddy system to overcome solo party awkwardness. If you have a solid work friend, team up to watch each other's backs. Share wingman duties according to the situation. Is your buddy slipping into a discussion about politics? Divert the whole thing with a joke, then bring up a new topic. Are you stuck in an interminable conversation with Steve about parking restrictions? Signal your wingman. She'll swoop in, grab you by the elbow, look at Steve and say, "Can I borrow him for a minute?" It's a game changer. If you don't have a wingman, then be a wingman. See the new guy hovering by herself near the copy machine bar? Notice how worried she looks? That's because she's wondering how she's going to survive a party where she doesn't know the culture or the people. You, madam, can be her savior. Just walk right up to her, introduce yourself, and say something like, "I'm not going to make it through this ridiculous shindig alone. Want to buddy up?" For the rest of her life, she will remember that moment and your graceful and generous act of selfless bravery. Okay, not selfless because you're getting a buddy out of it, but still. Imagine if someone had done that for you so many years ago when you stiff-walked awkwardly toward the copy machine bar. Step up. Be the hero.